Donald Trump was a G and the best president as far as I could remember. He's the only president who didn't start any new wars. Under his reign, America was winning. The stock market was going up and up and up. Prices were low. Inflation was under control. The U.S. was a net exporter of energy, and now it is a beggar for energy, now that Sleepy Joe Biden is in charge. Let's get into this video.
Criticized Governor Bush for speaking Spanish on the campaign trail. You said, quote, he should really set an example by speaking English in the United States. What's wrong with speaking Spanish?
Well, I think it's wonderful and all, but I did it a little bit half-heartedly, but I do mean it to a large extent. We have a country where to assimilate, you have to speak English. And
Fair enough.
I think that
I came to this country at 15 and I had to put in extra effort to learn the language, and I learned it perfectly. My English now is better than most white people's. And I'm not being arrogant, but what I'm trying to say is most of these people who, you know, they drive Uber in this country 20 years and they still can't speak English is because they don't put in an effort. They only hang out with their own, they only hang out with their own people. They only hang out with people who speak their own language. And Pakistanis, older Pakistanis who come into this country do that too. The Hispanics do that in the States, where they'll only hang out with their friends or family who speak Spanish or their own language. In my case, it was Urdu. My mom kind of tends to do that too. She only hangs out with other people who speak Urdu or, you know, or from her culture. So it's I believe most of it is because people don't put in an effort to learn the language. If I learned it, you can too.
where he was and the way it came out didn't sound right to me. We have to have assimilation. To have a country, we have to have assimilation.
I agree.
I'm not the first one to say this, Dana. We
don't have to be exactly all the same, but we need to have some common values or even a common language, because otherwise you got nothing.
Many people over the years, for many, many years, saying the same thing. This is a country where we speak English, not Spanish.
Well, I've been speaking English here tonight, and I'll keep speaking English, but the simple fact is if a high school kid asked me a question in Spanish, a school, by the way, a voucher program that was created under my watch, the largest voucher program in the country, where kids can go to a Christian school, and they ask me a question in Spanish, I'm going to show respect and answer that question in Spanish, even though they do speak English, and even though they embrace American values.
This was a reporter, not a high school kid, by the way.
Dana, I agree that English is the unifying language of our country, and everyone should learn to speak it. It's important. I want to tell you a story about someone that didn't speak English that well. It was my grandfather. He came to this country in the 1960s as escaping Cuba, and he lived with us growing up. And my grandfather loved America. He understood what was so special about this country. He loved Ronald Reagan. He would be very proud of the fact that we're here this evening. My grandfather instilled in me the belief that I was blessed to live in the one society in all of human history where even I, the son of a bartender and a maid, could aspire to have anything and be anything that I was willing to work hard to achieve. But he taught me that in Spanish because it was the language he was most comfortable in. And he became a conservative even though he got his news in Spanish. And so I do give interviews in Spanish, and here's why. Because I believe that free enterprise and limited government is the best way to help people who are trying to achieve upward mobility. And if they get their news in Spanish, I want them to hear that directly from me, not from a translator at Univision.
Thank you, Senator Rubio.
Let's put some more.
Head-to-head for a final
These
time.
are his best moments
Heated
from the third debate with Hillary Clinton. This is going to be good.
Culminating in Trump's unprecedented declaration. Will it change minds? Here's ABC's Terry Moran from the Spin Room in Las Vegas. Terry.
We don't want to listen to the big G, Trump. I don't want to listen to these nerds. What have these guys accomplished? They're not the POTUS. Get the fuck out of here. Let's get to this
Trump
bullshit.
a hypocrite on the issue of saving American jobs.
In fact, the Trump hotel right here in Las Vegas was made with Chinese steel. So he goes around.
Everything's made with Chinese stuff. Shut the fuck up.
With crocodile tears about how terrible it is. But he has given jobs to Chinese.
This bitch has had more people killed than the U.S. Army, bro. This bitch has a huge body count. And I'm not talking, you know, in the bedroom. I'm talking like she's had people killed. Do some research and look up how many people got killed around the Clinton campaign.
Steel workers, not American steel workers.
Mr. Trump?
I ask a simple question. She's been doing this for 30 years. Why the hell didn't you do it over the last
15, 20
career
years, you
politician.
were very much involved. Excuse me.
She had Gaddafi killed, which destroyed Libya. Libya was actually the richest country in Africa. Now it's one of the poorest countries in Africa, and it's in shambles because of her policy.
Do it over the.
Look at how content she looks. Truly an evil person, Hillary Clinton. And I'm not saying Trump's perfect or he's some kind of a saint. He's done plenty of bad shit. But man, nowhere near Hillary. I don't think he's personally had people whacked like the Clintons have.
Last 15, 20 years, you were very much involved. Excuse me.
Excuse me.
There's only one
Excuse
of us
me.
on this stage
Man, I
who's
love
actually
Trump.
shipped
He's a
jobs
G.
to Mexico
Excuse me.
because that's
Excuse
Donald.
me.
He's shipped jobs to 12 countries, including Mexico.
Trump questioned the value of her experience.
You do have experience. I'd say the one thing you have over me is experience, but it's bad
Experience,
experience.
exactly.
Because what you've done has turned out badly.
She pushed back on the
Facts.
notion that she has the wrong sort of experience.
Absolutely, and she seemed prepared for that. She then listed all the things that she.
Okay, I don't want to listen to these geeks, bro. Look at what they do. Is this CNN? Hold on. Oh, it's ABC, of course. It's a leftist organization. So then they fucking explained all the bullshit Hillary said. Oh, but Hillary really meant this, guys. Hillary's actually a good. Listen to this crap. I don't even know what they're
Back on the notion that she has the wrong sort of experience.
Exactly.
Absolutely,
Look
and
at
she
these.
seemed
Look at the
prepared for
puppets
She then
defending her.
listed all the things that she was doing with what Donald Trump was doing.
In the 1990s, I went to
Shut
Beijing
up.
and I said women's rights are human rights. He insulted a former Miss Universe, Alicia Machado, called her an eating machine. And
Has all this? Well, what? First of all, why would you go say that in Beijing? It's not your cult. They don't share American values or culture. By the way, guys, if you don't know, China's banned feminism recently because they know that overall it's bad for their society. It's bad for families. And to have a healthy economy and a healthy country, you need families. Because the smallest unit of a country is the family. Families make up cities, cities make provinces or states, and states make countries. So they understand this, and they realize that feminism is not good for them, and they've banned it. And they banned all kinds of feminized depictions of men on their social media platforms, because they know that they need masculinity and they need men, and men are the bedrock of society, of any society. And so they understand feminism and the feminization of men is bad, and so they're getting rid of it. And this bitch is gonna stand here. She just pretends to be for women's rights, bro. I'm probably more pro-women than she is. She doesn't care about anything but power. I probably care. And I'm not saying I'm some bleeding heart liberal, but I probably, on a whole, care more about people or women than she ever would. She's a straight-up psychopath.
on the day when I was in the Situation Room monitoring the raid that brought Osama bin Laden to justice, he was hosting the
Look at her. She's if this is a real picture, which I doubt it is. A lot of these things are staged, and I really doubt that they killed bin Laden in that raid, bro. That motherfucker's probably dead for years. They had him in a freezer or something. And I'm not saying that he's not dead. He definitely is dead. If they announce his death, then that means you're never gonna see him again, because it would look really bad on them if he popped up and, you know, on a YouTube video one day. But I don't think, yeah. So like I said, you're never gonna see bin Laden again. But he was probably dead a long time ago, and they had him in some incubator or something and rolled him out at the right time. That's my take on the whole bin Laden thing. And women are not fit for crisis situations, man. And if you some YouTube bot wants to ban me for that, and I don't mean bot as in an AI robot, I mean a human NPC at YouTube. If they decide to ban me for this, I'm coming at it from an Islamic perspective. Women should not be leaders. The Prophet Muhammad in Hadith said, any society who picks a woman as their leader will not succeed. And women are not fit for leadership or crisis situations. Look at her face. If this is a real picture, she's the only one, like, and all the men are like, we need to get to work. Obama's like, yo, when are you gonna kill this motherfucker? But Hillary's like, oh shit. Because women are not fit for those kind of situations. Actually, high stress situations destroy a woman's body, and particularly the womb. You can look this up if you think I'm
monitoring
lying.
the raid that brought Osama bin Laden to justice. He was hosting the Celebrity Apprentice.
So if you ban me for saying that, you YouTube bots, NPC moderators, if you ban me for that shit, you're a fucking xenophobe. How about that?
So I'm happy to compare my 30 years of experience.
It's a line I think we're going to hear over and over again the next 20 days.
Tonight, once again, the two debated the significance of the boys on the bus.
Grab him by the
Billy Bush's Access Hollywood bus, of course.
Mr. Trump.
Yo, what he was saying by grab him by the pussy was not literally grab him by the pussy. He was trying to make a point that if you're rich and famous enough, you can do pretty much whatever. These women will throw themselves at you. And that's facts, man. Look at all the rappers. Bitch, when they're performing, bitches are throwing themselves on the stage for them. Throwing panties at them. That's what he was saying. And it's true. He wasn't saying, like, go around grabbing women by the pussy. You know, or maybe even that, because again, even a guy like him, or if you're famous or rich enough, you can get away with that shit. Women want that sometimes from rich and famous and powerful men. I mean, now if you're a bum, I wouldn't recommend going around grabbing women by the pussy, or even if you're a high value dude, don't be doing that, man. That's very, very fucking dangerous. But he was just making a point that if you're rich and famous enough, if you're successful enough, if you're high enough on the hierarchy, you can pretty much do whatever you want, and they like it.
The last debate, you said your talk about grabbing women was just that, talk, and that you'd never actually done it. And since then, as we all know, 9 women have come forward and said that you either groped them or kissed them without their consent.
First of all, those stories have been largely debunked. Those people, I don't know those people. I have a feeling how they came. I believe it was her campaign that did it.
Well,
I wouldn't doubt that.
Clinton hit back.
These days they'll make up accusations against anybody, man. And in the believe all women environment we live in, you're just supposed to believe all women, even though no one's infallible. Men lie too, women lie, but for some reason we're expected to believe all women without any evidence.
he held a number of big rallies where he said that he could not possibly have done those things to those women because they were not attractive enough for
I did not
them
say
to be
that.
assaulted.
I did not say that.
In fact, he went on.
ugly.
He goes after their dignity, their self-worth, and I don't think there is a woman anywhere who doesn't know what that
Yo, if he said that, that's pretty funny. If he said, yo, they're not sexy enough for me to assault them. If he said they're not sexy enough for me to grab their pussy, that's pretty fucking funny, bro. And it makes sense. If they're actually ugly chicks, why would you want to grab their pussy?
feels.
Unless you're a really thirsty dude.
So we now know what Donald thinks and what he says and how he acts toward women. That's who Donald is.
Nobody has more respect for women than I do. Nobody. Nobody has more respect.
I respect bitches.
Everybody.
Russian President Vladimir Putin had a cameo tonight.
He'd rather have a puppet as president of
No
the United
puppet,
States.
no puppet.
And it's pretty clear.
You're the puppet.
It's pretty.
Tonight, Trump and Clinton debated abortion. Sharp differences.
I am pro-life, and I will be appointing pro-life judges.
I strongly support Roe v. Wade, which guarantees a constitutional right to a woman to make the most intimate, most difficult in many cases decisions about her health care that one can imagine.
But high-minded by 2016 standards.
This is the first time abortion has come up in any of these debates.
Well, I think it's terrible. If you go with what Hillary is saying, in the 9th month, you can take the baby and rip the baby
That's
out of
fucked
the
up.
womb of the mother
That's
just
fucked
prior
up.
to the birth of the baby.
Well, that is not what happens in these cases, and using that kind of scare rhetoric is just terribly unfortunate.
On other issues, they went straight for the jugular. Immigration, for instance.
When it comes to the wall that Donald talks about building, he went to Mexico. He had a meeting with the Mexican president. Didn't even raise it. He choked.
First of all, I had a very good meeting with the president of Mexico. Very nice man. We will be doing very much better with Mexico on trade deals, believe me. The NAFTA deal signed by her husband is one of the worst deals ever made of any kind, signed by anybody.
True.
Donald knows a lot about
Absolutely.
this.
Fucked
He used
up.
undocumented labor to
Took
build
all
the
the
Trump
industry
Tower.
away from
We're
America.
going to secure the border, and once the border is secured, at a later date, we'll make a determination as to the rest. But we have some bad hombres here, and we're going to get them out.
That term bad,
Bad
hombres.
hombres. Yeah, they're gonna watch. They're gonna spin it, and they're gonna say it's racist. He was trying to be racist to Mexicans.
That Trump just used, already trending on Twitter. Apparently, a lot of people found it offensive.
A lot of people.
Of course they did, bro. Because you people are offended by fucking everything. They're looking to be offended, bro. They love being victims.
Might not understand the connotation of that. And
fuck out of here. I'm gonna say right now, there's some bad hombre. I'm a bad hombre. What's up?
And so I'm gonna lay it out.
What's
here.
up?
And this is not political. This is not partisan. This has nothing to do with anybody who's running for office right now. It has to do with the word and the way in which it was used. It was derogatory. It was offensive.
He's unfit, and he proves it every time
You
he
are the
talks.
one that's unfit.
Trump tried to use leaked emails from Clinton's own campaign manager against her.
John Podesta said you have terrible instincts. Bernie Sanders said you have bad judgment. I agree with both.
Well, you should ask Bernie Sanders who he's supporting for president, and he has said,
Which is
as
a
he
big
has
mistake.
campaigned for me around the country, you are the most dangerous person to run for president in the modern history
No, Hillary was the most dangerous person to run in modern history.
of America. I think he's right.
All week long, Trump has called this a rigged election.
The election is being rigged. They have rigged it from the beginning. The election is being rigged by corrupt media.
Tonight, an astonishing moment. Trump refused to say if he'll accept the results of the election.
I will look at it at the time.
'Cause he's
I'm
a
not
G.
looking at anything now. I'll look at it at the time.
Are you saying you're not prepared now to
What
commit
I'm
to that
saying
principle?
is that I will tell you at the time. I'll keep you in suspense.
Well,
okay?
Chris, let me respond to that because that's horrifying.
Trump accused Clinton of conspiring with
What's
the media
horrifying is if you
against him.
became president.
She shouldn't be allowed to run. She's guilty of a very, very serious crime.
Yo, she not only deleted her emails. First of all, she had a private server. That's how badly she wanted to hide her shit. Not only did she delete her emails, she got the server scrubbed. She also smashed her phone with a hammer. What was in that phone that she wanted to hide so badly? What was in those emails? I guess we'll never know.
She should not be allowed to run. And just in that respect, I say it's rigged.
Clinton suggested Trump is just a sore loser.
And she
by
never got in any trouble for that shit.
nature.
There was even a time
Not a single
when
day served in
he
jail.
didn't get an Emmy for his TV program 3 years in a row, and he started tweeting that the Emmys were rigged against
Should have
him.
gotten it.
This is a mindset. This is how Donald thinks, and it's
By the way, that's a crime. While she was serving as Secretary of State, what she did, those were crimes. That anybody else who didn't have the political clout or power that she has, they would have been prosecuted, but she was not.
funny, but it's also really troubling.
How surprised were you that Trump wouldn't promise to accept the results?
I thought it.
You see how they're so critical of Trump, but they're openly supporting Hillary. And I'm not saying like there's not news organizations on the other side that are biased. Fox News certainly is biased. But that's why we need more based journalism. We need more media organizations that are in the middle. The Dawn, or there's a new one that Joe Rogan quotes, the one that has that Indian guy, something, I forgot his name, man. Crystal and Cigar. They have a good show. I think Crystal and Cigar is the name of the show. I'm not sure. I don't watch much media or news unless it's for the show. But yeah, we need some more news organizations. We need more free media that's unbiased and in the middle, because the truth is usually somewhere in the middle. But they are so openly biased, man. And there's more ABC News, CBC, there's more news organizations on the left than there are on the right. The only one I can think of is Fox. But the left has CNN, NBC, ABC, all the fucking alphabets.
Was stunning. This is really a hallmark of our democracy. Both his daughter and his running mate said that they would commit to it. And there he said he was going to keep the country in suspense.
And right after the debate concluded, we grabbed Matt Dowd for some instant analysis.
Let's go over here where we get a little more light. I didn't see them shake hands at the end. Did you?
No, they didn't shake hands.
Not at all.
Not at all. Not at the beginning and not at the end.
Were you surprised at his answer to the question about will you respect the results of the election?
I was shocked because I've never heard an answer like that in all the elections I've been involved in.
That's sort of not part of the American tradition.
Because Trump's a
what I
G.
feel about
That's
this
why you haven't
is
heard
that
it
he's
before.
setting it up for
They never had a
dividing
G
the country
run
is
for
gonna be very
president
hard
before
to do.
Donald Trump.
Still 19
Okay,
days
I don't
left.
want to listen to these nerds. I don't want them to pollute my brain. So we're going to end the stream here. Subscribe to the channel. Like the video. And again, the G of the day is Donald Trump. I'll see you in the next